See the God I know, he'll nourish you to get stronger. People that love you would never sit and watch you be a detriment to yourself. They're gonna push you to do more. They're gonna push you to reach your full potential. Somebody need to hear it. Somebody need to hear it. The God I know, he keeps pushing me. When I need that push, he gonna take everything out of my life in order to get me to see where the fuck I need to go. I know a God. I don't know what type of God y'all got, but I ain't gonna come see about me. He gonna pull up on me. My friends, I see the God in my friends. My friends ain't gonna leave me hanging. Just like God don't leave me hanging, my friends don't leave me hanging, and they love me. Now my friends, they not perfect, but guess what? Just like my God, they show up for me every time. If you can't see the God and the people that you got hanging around you, and your friends and your family and your support system, if you can't see mercy in them, you don't need them around you. Because my God, he gonna supply the wood for me to build that boat. Yep, he not gonna let you drown. Your friends, they not supposed to let you drown.
Hey, this is Chic from Chic Speaks. I am coming on with a live tonight. I wanted to bring light to mental health in particular, and as it impacts the lives of women. And I started this live out with a video of Raven Jackson. Many of you may have heard by now that she is no longer with us. She succumbed to just her mental health illness. That's what we got to call it, because anytime someone chooses to delete themselves, it's typically from, a struggle with mental illness. And I wanted to come out here to just bring light to that, to talk about that, because it was a big surprise for many people when they learned that Raven made the decision to no longer be with us, and for reasons that we may not ever really come to know. There's been reasons put out there as to the whys for her making a decision that she did. But again, we may not ever know. So I want to talk about some of the reasons as to why some people, some women may feel stressed that results to them, or that has resulted to them choosing to just no longer be around. And I know one of the stressors that many women experience, especially a woman who's a single parent, is typically associated with finances. Finances is definitely an indicator or a big stressor for women. And many of us have been a part of conversations or heard a conversation surrounding inflation. We've seen the prices of things go up, such as food, gas, toiletries, just any of those things that we use in our day-to-day life. We've all taken notice that the price has increased on those things. The increase of prices on those items that we need has impacted households, has impacted the health of people, in particular women, because it has become a stressor. It's like, where is this money coming from? I don't have these extra funds to make up for the increase in cost of these items that I need for myself and for my children, for my family. And as I stated, that a lot of women are single parents out here. And that's why it's important for women to be conscious about the decisions that they make when it comes to having a child. My channel is about marriage. I promote marriage. I am a woman who's been married for 18 years. So I come on here weekly to talk about marriage, to encourage marriage, to identify or point out the reasons as to why marriage is the way you as a woman want to go, especially if you're wanting to have children. And I so often see women struggle with parenting because, let's just call a spade a spade. Many of them made the conscious decision to go into parenting alone. They, of course, it took someone to help make the baby, but many of these women knew as soon as they learned they were pregnant that they were pretty much going to be a single parent. Many of them knew when they were choosing to sleep with these men that this man wasn't going to be around for the long haul, but they still made the decision to have relations with this man that ultimately resulted in a life being created, and now this woman being a single parent. So yes, it takes two to make a child, but it does start with a woman making that decision to procreate with a man. We cannot ignore our current situations, and we cannot ignore the quality of the men that we choose to make a baby with. So a lot of this stress that I'm speaking on, it's stress that can be prevented, stress that is often brought on to us by ourselves. You know, we bring this stress on, and having a child, that's something that we as women can, for the most part, can control. So that's a stress that we can kind of remove, you know, if we chose to. Now, inflation, we can't control that. But what I'm saying is that these decisions that we can control, that's what we should be doing. We should be controlling them. We also have a situation with jobs. Many women, you know, they're limited on maybe the type of jobs that they can get because of their lack of, you know, the limited education. Maybe they only have a high school diploma if they even graduated high school. So that can be an added stressor as well. The young lady who, you know, I showed the video of, Raven Jackson, she was a businesswoman. She was an entrepreneur. I don't think she had any children. I hadn't heard about her having any children, but she was a woman who was holding down the show, handling her business. She wasn't married. She was in a relationship a couple, you know, for 2 to 3 years, and she had a boyfriend. She was with a rapper, and she still endures stress. And like I said, she didn't even have children to be stressed out about. She just had herself to take care of and her businesses to run. And from my research, you know, she had very successful businesses, but it was still stress that she had going on in her life. That stress had an impact on her mental health. And in the video, you know, she talked about having a strong circle, a strong foundation, family, friends. But in the end, she still chose to do what she did, which has resulted in her no longer being with us. So I think it's important for us to really evaluate stop and just think about our mental health and where we are today, and think about those who we have that we can call upon if we do find ourselves being stressed or in needing help. Because a lot of times people who are in need of help have a problem reaching out to others to let that, you know, to let it be known, hey, I'm struggling over here. I need help. And this young lady, it's apparent that was a struggle that she had with reaching out for help, because we saw in the video, she was a woman who really prided herself on her strength and her faith in the Lord. And then she also talked about having a strong support system. But given that she's no longer with us, it's evident that she did not reach out for this support system when she really needed to, which is very unfortunate, because I have no doubt that they would have come running to save her. She is obviously a woman that was loved by many. She had a lot of followers, But it seems like just in her personal world, she had like real people that was surrounding her. And unfortunately, they weren't there to save her. And many of them probably didn't even see the signs that she was really struggling in the area of her mental health. And sometimes these signs can go unnoticed. Uh, I want to talk about also signs of somebody who may be struggling with their mental health. A lot of times, people who are dealing with, emotional struggles will overeat. We see a lot of women, and we have conversations about women and their weight and how they need to get it under control. But I think that a bigger conversation is why. Why are women overeating? Why are they overweight? I've learned that a lot of times women who are overweight are victims of some type of abuse. Oftentimes, it was abuse that took place during their childhood. And as a result of that, how they managed to, or how they dealt with that abuse was by overeating. So from childhood going into adulthood, they just built this habit of overeating. So now fast forward as an adult, you're dealing with an obese woman, a morbidly obese woman, or just an overweight woman. But the root cause is just trauma that that woman has um, endured at some point during her life. And that trauma deserves to be acknowledged. It deserves to be discussed, because a lot of women are going through life with struggles thinking that they're in it alone. And I'm here to tell you, you're not in it alone. There are people out here who are open to hearing about your struggles. There are hotlines out there that you can call to get help if you don't have someone in your circle to reach out to. Uh, Depression is a real thing. A lot of times, people who have endured some type of abuse or trauma, they battle depression. And typically when someone chooses to no longer be here, it's because they dealt with depression, whether you knew it or not. But depression was something that they may have silently dealt with. And depression, I believe, is something that can often kind of go unnoticed by people. You think that, oh, okay, this person's always quiet. They're always sticking to themselves. Oh, yeah, it's normal for them to stay in their room a lot or to sleep a lot. These are also signs of depression. So we have to do check-in wellness checks with our loved ones to just make sure that they all good, because you may think they're good just because they're not saying anything or you're not seeing them act erratic. But a lot of times people are suffering in silence. They're suffering in silence. They're putting on this face of, oh, everything is all good. Just as this young lady, this beautiful Raven Jackson, she put on the happy face that she was fine and everything was all good. She looked good, she had her businesses, she had all these things going on for herself that would make somebody believe that she had it all and that she was good. And oftentimes people who appear to be good, people just don't even stop to check in on them because they're like, oh, she's good. Raven's good. She has a smile on her face. Oh, I saw her post pictures. But in reality, a lot of times people who have that big smile on their face are really in pain deep down inside. So it's clear that this was a young woman who was dealing with a lot of pain, a pain that is likely to have gone unnoticed by many people, possibly including her boyfriend. Again, like we said, we may not ever really know the full story as to why, she chose to do what she did. But what we do know is that she's no longer with us. And we know that because of, the way she chose to, leave us, that lets us know that she was not in a good place. So that's something that is not arguable, because someone who's in a good place does not do what this young lady chose to do. And it was a decision that she made, but it was a decision made from an unhealthy place, from an unhealthy mindset. So I just encourage any of you, anyone who listens to this video, to do a self-check. Be honest with yourself. If you're not feeling well, if you're not in a good place, reach out to someone. Call a friend, send a text, reach out to someone, find a phone number online, a hotline where you can call and get help, get the help you need, because there is always someone else out there who has experienced what you're experiencing or may currently be experiencing what you're experiencing. I need you to understand that you are not alone. You're not alone. There are people who battle with mental illness every day. They live with it. They receive treatment for it regularly. So that means that it is something that you can live with, you can survive, you can overcome. It's just, but you have to let people know that you need help and that you're struggling. That part you need to do, because not everyone are going to recognize the signs that you may be showing, or you may think, oh, it's obvious you're not doing well, but it may not be obvious that you're not doing well. So it's important that you speak up, you reach out to your family, your loved ones, your local law enforcement, anybody that you can go and just have a conversation with to say, hey, I'm not doing well. I need some type of supports, because there are supports out there. So thank you for joining me on this live. Please like, share, subscribe. If this message meant anything to you, I have provided my Cash App, which is $ speak 50. And again, I thank you for joining this live. Please drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on just the state of the stress levels for women today. And if you're stressed, how do you de-stress? What are some ways that you get yourself in a better place when you feel yourself kind of going down? What are some signs that we can look for in people around us to know when someone's not doing well? Because somebody could very well be in the presence of someone who's not doing well and they're just not catching the signs. So please drop a comment. Thank you again for joining. Like, share, subscribe, and make sure you got the notification bell on so you know when I go live. You can also follow me on Instagram at chic.speaks. And make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, Chic Speaks. And here, as a married woman of 18 years, I come out here to talk to the ladies about marriage, how to become married, and signs to look for in a man to know if he is also ready for marriage. So I thank you again for joining us live. And until the next time, peace.